right. Hello. Are we live? Is it live? Just gonna give a moment for some people to come in. Let's see if we're live. Y'all say something to me in the comment section. Are we live? Facebook, are you here with us? Instagram, are you with us? YouTube, are you with us? All right. I'm gonna give a few more minutes for y'all to come on in. It is Monday, and I know it's been a long day, but we got an interesting topic to talk about today. Let's see, are you live? What Tia's medicine saying? Is you live? Oh, okay, I see we on YouTube. Okay. Are we on Instagram yet? Let's see. Co- We on Instagram. Let's go. All right. Let's go ahead and get this show started. Welcome. Happy Monday. I know you all missed us. We took Labor Day off, so hopefully everybody had a chance to just relax and chill. And we are back. For all of our Jerry fans, Jerry is right now on a flight to New Orleans for the United States Conference on HIV and AIDS. I actually will be flying out tomorrow. And so I just want to give a safe travels to everyone across the United States and even globally who will be traveling to New Orleans for the United States Conference on HIV and AIDS. I'm really excited about that. Just a few announcements before we get into our conversation today. We are so excited. Next Tuesday, September the 17th, we will be bringing back our Vibrant Steps class. Tuesday, September 17th. Go ahead, you can put that graphic back up. This is a great opportunity for you to get your physical activity on. It's a free event. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay, what we have next? Oh, okay, here we go. This is a good one. So, MashUp, we have actually teamed up with the Tennessee Pride Chamber of Commerce. If you are an LGBTQ business owner, if at least 51% of your employees are LGBTQ business owners, you can actually get a LGBTQ business enterprise certification. And so on Thursday, LGBT business enterprise certification. This is something you definitely want to be interested in. We have the link in our bio and on our website, more information about this. But please, come on out and get your certification, okay? Now listen, we busy this month. This month is busy. Okay, so on Saturday, September 21st, I know y'all have heard of us talk about the Timeless Jewels. The Timeless Jewels are our 50 plus community. The Timeless Jewels be having some fun events, okay? But on Saturday, September from 4:30 to 7 o'clock, we're going to be meeting at Chicago's home of chicken and waffles in East Nashville. Oh my goodness. And the topic this time, I don't tell nobody, but the topic this time is called timeless sex. And so we'll be talking about, what does sex after 50 look like? What does safe sex, healthy sex after the age of 50 look like? And so if you know somebody who's 50 plus who need to be involved in this conversation, please have them come join us. You have to register because we only have about 20 slots left, okay? So you need to make sure you go click on our link in our bio, go to our website and make sure you register for this event, okay? And if you register, you will get up to about $45 to be able to spend on some good chicken and waffles and all the things they have on that good menu, okay? Oh my gosh. September just got real freaky or something. I don't know, but okay. So on Saturday, September 28th, we are so excited. And again, let me just make this point. We have what we call the Dining Dialogue series. So the Timeless Sex is a part of our Dining Dialogue series. And also, for people who are interested in learning more about BDSM. We have an event on Saturday, Folks Munch. It'll be from 1 to 3 p.m. Now, listen, we ain't gonna do it's no sex demonstrations and all that kind of stuff. It's just information. You come to get information about it. If you've ever been curious about the world of BDSM and you want to find out about what all this is about, there may be some misconceptions of what it's about and people thinking that it's not safe. Well, we have some expertise who are going to come and dispel some of those myths and stigmas that people may have against BDSM. And we're going to do it all over a good meal. And so if you're interested in that, listen, you know what to do. Click that link in that bio, go to our website, and make sure you register. Okay? A few more announcements. If you're not familiar with Jackie Shane was a transgender blues jazz artist that was right out of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, many of you may not have heard of her, and I'm sure you probably can guess why, because she was very popular around the 60s, 70s time frame, and you can only imagine a black trans person around that time did not get to have the opportunity to excel in their music career. Can y'all hear me? I look like I got muted, but can y'all hear me? All right. But anyway, I'm so happy for my city of Nashville because we are giving Jackie Shane her flowers with a historic marker unveiling on the historic Jefferson Street on Friday, September the 20th. And there's also going to be an after party at the Golden Pony. And my last announcement that we're going to be at this event that's going to be hosted by the YWCA on September 26th is called Stand Against Injustice, Healing Unity. We are so excited we're going to have a table there. We're going to be able to share information about what MashUp offers. And so we just want to promote this event. So if you're interested and you're available, y'all come hang out with us. All right. Now, this is the moment y'all all have been waiting for, and I am actually ready to get into some things. I want to bring on my special guest, Mr. Bobby Galladay. Go and bring him on in. Where you at, Bobby Galladay? Come on in, Bobby Galladay. All right, y'all give us just one moment. We're gonna get Bobby on in. One moment, y'all. Y'all hold tight. Hold tight. We're gonna get him in here. We're gonna get him here because we're gonna be talking about our straight black men allies. I don't see him yet. Y'all bear with us. I'm saying just a few little technical difficulties. Just a few little technical difficulties. Okay. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on. We might be having some issues. Y'all bear with us here. We are so sorry. He's talking to you. There we go. Bobby almost came to Denver, Colorado and got you. Almost came. The people was waiting for us. They waiting for us, Bobby Galladay.
I didn't know what happened. So my work computer just went crazy for a second. I'm not sure. It might be all the security stuff that's on it, but yeah, I think we're good now. So I went to my personal computer, so I think we're okay.
I love it. Well, listen, before we get into our topic today, which is about our straight black men allies, can you just introduce yourself to our followers that's watching right now?
Absolutely. My name is Bobby Galladay. I currently reside in Fort Collins, Colorado now. I just moved back in January. Loving it out here. But I initially grew up mostly in the South, grew up from a military family. And so it's created a lot of opportunities as far as just travel and getting a chance to meet new people. And one of those places that I ended up stopping was in Tennessee, where I met Brian. And so ever since then, man, we've been super close. I mean, that's a brother to me. So it's just been a great opportunity to be able to attend when I can some of the MashUp events and stuff like that. So I think it's just been great, and I'm excited to see how MashUp continues to grow and expand for sure.
Yes. Well, listen, Bobby, I just want to just thank you for being a long-term supporter of Mashup. And we have a lot of straight Black allies that love Mashup. And so we want to really get into some things because I understand the importance of just having not just friends, but just people who because you can say you're a friend, but like, what does it mean to really show up beyond a friend when you are a straight Black male? As an ally. And so we're going to get into this topic. And I just want to tell you, this is a groundbreaking conversation because I don't think I've ever heard or seen a conversation like this. And so you might be breaking some barriers tonight. We ready?
We might be. We might be. Let's do it.
All right. So I just kind of want to start on just talking about your journey to being an ally. In our community, we coined this phrase allyship, but maybe you have a different terminology or definition for what that means to you. But I would love for you to just kind of talk about, well, what was your journey to understanding that you were an ally, if you understand, if ally is what you connect with.
Yeah, it's a great question, and honestly, I never truly saw myself as an ally in the term, and that was just because I always thought to be an ally of something, you have to be out there doing major things, and uh, so the term ally was kind of just brought to me, and it was a learning experience for me to realize, okay, this is what I'm doing, and for me to understand, like, I'm glad where I am, and I'm glad to be more a part of it. But my journey, so as I said before, I grew up in a military family, but I also grew up heavily in church. And so that's something that obviously there are a lot of dogmatic principles and ideas that come from within the church. So not necessarily being open-minded to certain things. However, there is the principle of treating others the way that you want to be treated. And that truly stuck with me. So growing up, I definitely wanted to treat others how I would be treated. There are things that we as humans have to go through every single day, and it doesn't make any sense for me to add to that stress, that fear, that someone may have just out and engaging with others throughout their normal days. So I definitely wanted to be an example in that sense of helping and treating other people the way that I wanted to be treated. But also, as I moved forward through life and I went off to school and studied psychology, that I was able to, in my classes, learn about the term intersex, which totally changed my world because basically you're coming to a point where growing up in the church, as I said, and it still sticks with me. And to have that belief that God makes no mistakes, how can you say that but then say something else? It's very hypocritical. And there are way too many people in this world for us to be sticking to this dichotomy type thing. And so it really opened my mind a lot more and made me more engaging with people, trying to understand, like, okay, well, like, how do you think? Not necessarily like if there's something wrong, because there's nothing wrong, but how open my mind, because I've been so sheltered in that sense. And so it was a great opportunity for me to sit down and just kind of understand more that there's more than just me. This is what I know. This is who I am growing up, but there's more than just me. And so as we fast forward in my growing process within that, we fast forward to me here now in Colorado, and I started working at this health company, and I had this couple. They're great great friends of mine still to this day, and they there was something about them that we really connected, honestly. And I tried to connect with a lot of people at work, but there was just something about them that just really, you know, I really gravitated toward. And as I started going forward within the company, and people started to, just because, I mean, Colorado is not a very diverse state, but the company was trying to be. And so they included me on the board of inclusion and engagement. And we came up on the month of Pride, and I'm sitting here looking at the table, and I'm like, okay, how are we all making this decision? And there's no one who represents anybody of the LGBTQIA plus community. That doesn't make any sense. How can we do that? And so that was one of the things where I was like, no, we need to have somebody representing here at this table. There needs to be, how can we be inclusive and not include? It doesn't make any sense. And from then, yeah, I actually took one of the partner in the couple, and I was like, hey, would you mind doing this? And after they said yes, I went back to the board, and I was like, I want this person to be on this board, and they need to be. We can vote, but I'm always going to say yes. Like, they need to be on this. And yeah, they ended up being on the board, and they were the ones who told me, you know, you're an ally, right? I was like, really? It didn't dawn on me until that part. And yeah, I accepted that, and I wear it proudly, because there's nothing wrong with being a voice in a room where that voice isn't heard. So that was my journey, and yeah, I love where I am now, and I'm happy to see where I'm going to go from here.
I absolutely love everything that you just said. I started at the part where you talked about your Christian values, because it's interesting. And we have a new project called the Holiness Project, WHOL, Holiness Project, which is kind of aiming towards helping our community. And when I say our community, I mean the Black LGBT community, kind of heal from that church trauma based on their identity and sexual orientation. And
church is real.
It is real, and it's so interesting that you actually said that your Christian experience shaped your mind to where you saw all humans as people who should be all treated the same. And so, we don't have time to really delve into today, because maybe we'll bring you back for the Holiness Project. Because I also know that you've been in the ministry a little bit of something like that. I think you might be a PK or something like that. I think I may have heard at one point.
Yeah, I am.
We have to ignore it, because I'm trying to figure out how are some people saying my Christian values mean that I need to, speak out against you and treat you some kind of way and bring harm to you knowingly or unknowingly. But you're saying that my Christian experience told me to treat everybody equally. I really do love that. I love the whole organic way that you came to understand and know that you were an ally just by doing something that was already embedded, in you, or a seed that was planted in you. But I am curious, when someone, is an ally in certain spaces, sometimes people think I'm an ally because, I showed up to, the Pride event, and I sat at the table with MashUp, or I walked in the parade with MashUp, and oh my God, like or say, the only thing I did, not to discredit what you did, but say, oh my God, look, I am a part of the the LGBT EJR of my company, or I got gay friends, and so look, I'm an ally. But what I really am curious about, Bobby, is beyond that, when you are in private settings with your homies, your straight homies, and y'all watching the football game, or when you're just in spaces with cis heterosexual Black men, and you hear them say things that come against the LGBT community. What does allyship look like in the private spaces when we don't see it?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing, you have to speak up, man. At the end of the day, if you don't speak up and say like, hey, what you're saying is wrong. It's unfair to judge someone based upon their sexuality, and it's not right. And when you hear statements that are hateful, derogatory, um, that's your time. Like even if it's hinted, like that's your time to step up. As I said before, like that wasn't the mentality that I had before growing up because I didn't really know. But as I grew further in understanding and also asking others to be an advocate or ally of me as a Black man, how can I ask something of someone else when I'm not, willing to speak up in behind closed doors where it's everybody just, joking around or whatever, like you said, watching a football game or whatever like that. How can you not, speak up? Speaking up is the main thing. And then also listening, because I think that a lot of times we say that we're listening to people who have different experiences than we do, and a lot of times we're actually just hearing them. We're not truly listening, and there's a difference. And I think that it definitely needs to be talked about, because yeah, I can hear you. I hear you're struggling. You're like, yeah. I get that. But me, like, I have this issue. Well, you didn't listen. You weren't listening. Everyone has different experiences. As you said, I'm a PK, and when, like, let's say my father says something, and my he's relatively open-minded in that sense, but if he says it, and it's like, well, you also have to remember such and such. Like, there are differences, and when it comes to moving forward and progressing, as far as just a community as a whole, and we talk about civil rights all together, and that is a journey that we're all taking. We all have to strive for that. And I know that I've heard before, like the statement of, well, me specifically speaking, like as a Black man, like my struggle is completely different. Like you can't compare that to anyone else. Well, your struggle may be different, but at the same time, I think Wanda Sykes, she has a stand up in it, and it's really good, the example that she uses. And she says, well, she never had to go to her parents and be like, hey, mom and dad, just want to let you know, like, I'm Black. Like, I know you had this thought for me and this trajectory for my life, but I'm Black. And so that's not, and their parents like aren't going to give this shocking, like, oh my goodness, really? Like, we didn't know this whole time. Like, that's not going to happen. That's a hurdle that people have to jump and have to truly like say that to their parents. So listening is a very important thing. You have to speak up when you're behind those closed doors, and then when you're not and you're engaging with other people, you have to listen. So that way, when you're listening, you can take that to the behind the closed doors and say, hey, life experiences are different, and it doesn't give you the right to joke around or make fun of somebody because they're different from you.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
okay,
because I can imagine that, even if there is someone who is an ally, I can imagine it may be uncomfortable when you're around a whole bunch of dudes and they start, look at that gay, look at that gay, you know what I'm saying, when they start talking that. Yes, it can be kind of maybe like a weird place to come in and get real serious and be like, hey y'all, that ain't right, that's messed up, because somebody may be thinking, oh, if I speak up, then they gonna think that they don't think I'm gay because I'm speaking up on their behalf, and then it becomes a whole another thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, could you give an example of like a time that you've maybe had to interject? And if you haven't ever had to really interject in that space, can you just give an example of what that sounds like in practice?
Yeah. So as I said before, like with my father, that was a conversation that we had when he first visited here in Colorado.
Mm.
And he was saying something that didn't really sit well with me. And I basically said, you have to understand that it's a completely different struggle. And I did feel more open just because it was my father in that sense, because we've had conversations like that before and I've had to speak up. Just because, I mean, he was born and raised in the South. And so there is a different mentality, of course. But that is one example. Now, there are some other occurrences where, yeah, people joke around and they make these jokes. And um, you, how is it without like giving this?
Don't throw your daddy under the bus now. Don't throw him under the bus.
It's not my father. No, it's not my father.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and there has been an instance to where yes, he did make a joke that was very uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine how uncomfortable it would be for anybody else. And I did have to speak up and be like, "Hey, man, like that's not like I'm not really down for that type of joke. Like that's not something that I think we need to discuss or make fun of. Just because someone may be gay, that doesn't mean that you have to make fun of them." And we kind of left it at that. Like it wasn't something that we need to go on and have a continuous conversation about. But I think it was necessary for me to speak up because at least that let him know, like, you know, Bobby feels this type of way, and it it may not change his mind. It may not change his mind in what he says, but I know he won't say it around me.
Mm-hmm.
And if that change can happen to where someone can say, okay, this guy, he's definitely in that corner. It was, yeah, I'm in this corner, and that doesn't make me any less. And there are a lot of people, honestly, who have questioned my sexuality. And it's very interesting because of that. It's very interesting, those things, uh, because you don't want to be like, nah, man, like, nah, I don't feel like that,
Uh-huh.
but at the same time, it's like, why would you assume just because I'm sticking up for somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it those types of things are very uncomfortable. And that was something that was truly uncomfortable when I was in college. Yeah, I had roommates that would speak certain ways. We all had a pretty similar background as far as growing up in church, but um, my experience was different. My classes were different, so I
Mm-hmm.
learned different things. And yeah, I remember even hearing somebody whisper, like there was a guy with his girlfriend, and she asked him, like, "Is he gay?" I'm like, "Nah, Bobby, nah." But at the same time, it's like, just because I speak up about something, or I can laugh at certain things that
Mm-hmm.
are funny, like I don't mind. I enjoy going to drag shows. Like I enjoy those types of things. I
Okay.
mean, this is art,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that people think so personally on things that they fail to realize this is art. This is a person's way of expressing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and why would I knock them because of that? I mean, yeah, I enjoy drag shows. I enjoy balls. Like it's like those are really cool to me, and yeah. So I say that to say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are some of the experiences that I've had. and you know, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. I'm older now, so
Mhm.
there are more things that kind of hit me and brush off because I've, you know, been speaking up for that for a while. But there are other things that hit me a little harder, and so, you know, that comes with, you know, as we grow as humans. So
Yes. No, I appreciate you sharing that perspective. You know, to be honest with you, I commend heterosexual black men who are able to stand up for the LGBT community and speak about their experiences. Loving to go to a drag show and don't care what people think, because to me that speaks to the security that you have within yourself. And people
yeah,
who I personally feel like, men who are constantly speaking out against LGBTQ people, or have always spewing hateful comments and always have something negative to say, or even joking. Well, I won't tell you, but I
yeah, yeah, it's bad.
why are you so invested? You know,
Hmm.
why are you so
Yeah.
invested in this? And for me, shoot, if it's gay dudes out here, well, guess what? That means it's more women for you to choose from. Okay, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So what's the problem? I don't get it. But anywho, we're gonna close. Well, I'm gonna close this out with something, and I really kind of want to hear your statement on why you feel like it's so significant, or if you feel like it's very significant for straight black men to be allies and support members of the LGBT community, and really talk about. Can you just kind of really, in your answer, describe a world where you see black gay men embracing, straight black men embracing the LGBT community, and how that can impact just society?
Yeah, absolutely. As a black man and seeing how society views us,
Mhm.
um, I can honestly say that in return, as a black man, a lot of hate, a lot of bigotry, and derogatory statements come out of the mouths of straight black men. And I don't know, I take it that it's definitely from a place of insecurity, but also I think it's a lack of, it's ignorance. And ignorance is bliss sometimes, you know, and not wanting to hear the other side, not wanting to understand what is uh, anything that's different from you. And I think that once black men can stand together and say, like, you know what, this is wrong the way that you treat this person, whoever it may be. We are all humans. We are all in the human race. There's a struggle that each one of us has. And it speaks volumes when straight black men stand up and say something, because at the moment, society pretty much sees us as, you either have your Uncle Toms, you have those who are uh, in gangs, those who want to be an athlete or whatever, you know, and they think that that's all that we have to offer is essentially entertainment. But sticking on principles and saying, no, I'm speaking up for someone that's like me and someone who's not like me, I think that speaks volumes, because it's not necessarily, it's showing a different type of investment. I'll say it like that. Because yes, you can be invested in yourself. You can go forward and say, like, nah, we shouldn't, we're brothers, we have to stick together. But speaking about someone else who isn't like you speaks volumes, because you've invested time to understand this person and speak up for them and to stand with them. And I think that's an amazing, I don't want to say accomplishment, because I don't want to say like you're patting yourself on the back, but that is an amazing stance to take, to make sure that other people can say, like, okay, we shouldn't be doing this. We need to cut back on making fun of or trying to deprive someone of human decency, which I don't understand at all. Why would you try to keep someone from being seen as human? We are all people. I don't get it. But yeah, I think if we can do that and we move forward, I think that there are so many mountains we can climb. We've already had several people who have stood up, civil rights leaders, politicians who have stood up, Black who have stood up and spoken up, and it wasn't even until later in some cases that people even knew, like, oh, I didn't realize they weren't a straight Black man, because it didn't matter. They were speaking about other people and speaking about everyone coming together and accomplishing something greater than themselves. And I think that's something that we could possibly do again and further the initiative for sure.
I love it. Well, listen, Bobby, you have given us some gems today, and it is my prayer that something this conversation will reach the masses, and that others
Yeah.
will begin to have more conversations like this. Whether you're doing the work of the Lord, okay, that's the
Right.
work of the Lord, and you just got an extra check mark to get into to land of eternity. I want to personally thank you so much. Thank you for being a brother to me and a friend
Absolutely.
to me and an ally. It means a lot to me if I've never ever told you that. I appreciate your support. You're not my only brother who supports me. There's others who support. There's actually more. There are more straight Black men allies that people know. I just, would love for, us, the straight Black men group to come together. Maybe we need to come up with a name, a mashup name for the straight Black allies and start a coalition or something. And get them
Maybe.
get them to meet regularly or something. Maybe be our
You might be
bodyguard.
onto something. You might be onto something.
We're gonna figure that out. Okay, we're gonna start a coalition. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. Listen, we are beyond our time. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back next Monday. For those who are again traveling to United States Conference on HIV and AIDS, New Orleans, y'all be safe. I hear there may be a hurricane coming, so hopefully, we won't have no delays in flights and no issues. So y'all keep us all prayed up for everybody traveling down there, and we will see you next week. And don't forget to go to our website, click our link in our bio, and register for all these wonderful, amazing events that we have coming up. And peace out until next week.
See you.
Take care.